Good morning. I appreciate the chance to be able to make this video, which came from a chance meeting with a lady called Emily Jupp, who was the principal speaker at a school prize giving last year. Emily gave an inspirational speech and also has now invited me to take part in this series of 10-minute videos. I farm about 9 miles from King's Lynn. I'm Geoff, Cllr Hipperson, the Mayor of King's Lynn and West Norfolk. All 550 square miles of it, and a lovely area it is. From Hockwold to West Walton to Burnham Overy to Castleacre, a big area. This will be a bit of a change for me because although I'm coming to the end of my time as Mayor, I've not made a long speech yet. I've not spoken for 10 minutes. Here are some thoughts on my year as Mayor. One thing I've been required to do is improve my historical knowledge. History was one of the subjects I did not continue at school. Shamefully not one of the chosen subjects, but I've tried to make up since. The history of King's Lynn, the 2 world wars particularly regarding remembrance, the 1918 armistice, the Normandy landings, and a myriad of other events have been patiently explained to me by a variety of local historians. Paul Richards, of course, Civics Officer Paul Edwards, has helped me with military history. My wife Rose and daughter Kathy deserve a mention here also. One of my thoughts overrides all others. That hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, there were, as there are now, clever and talented people who could navigate by the stars, do geometry, build King's Lynn Minster and other fantastic structures, create great music and literature, predict the movement of the planets, but 2 things lagged behind. Remained almost archaic. These were medicine and the treatment of humans towards each other, both physically and mentally, which I'm reminded every time I visit the stories of Lynn and see the cells and details of the punishments given. We have made enormous achievements in medicine. Let's hope we can make similar advances in respect, care and relationships to our fellows. The environment has been a major item during my civic year. My appointment was accompanied by a demonstration by the Extinction Rebellion, who actually behaved quite well. Some of the other discussions have not been in such good spirit, which has been a shame. I will not say anything more about this at the moment, but I will divert to a particular form of localism called the Drainage Board. In case you haven't noticed, the big rivers are not dredged as much as they used to be. The sea defences are difficult to look after and suffering in places. Dykes and ditches on higher land are often piped, diverted and restricted, but the man-made rivers and drains, the 16-foot river, the 14-foot drain, pumping station and drainage board ditches are well looked after. You cannot get away by putting an undersized culvert in a drainage board ditch. Believe me, I did it once. Put a 33-inch pipe instead of a 36-inch. They were down on me like a ton of bricks and the pipes had to be dug up and replaced. Drainage boards mainly look after land below 20 feet above sea level. And one more thing, why are the 16-foot, 20-foot and 40-foot rivers called that? To what does the number refer? Someone out there must know. I also worry about overhead electricity cables. Some of the posts, particularly in the fens, have such a lean that it almost looks as though the wires are holding up the posts. Health and safety protects us so well from many hazards, but the roads and electricity are ever-present dangers. Enough of this serious stuff. Let me tell you some of the highlights of the visits of my year. Firstly, the children, the 3 and the 4-year-olds who went on a mayor hunt in the town hall. I was not difficult to find, hiding behind the door in the parlour. Rachel at the Town Hall has a tremendous affinity with children of all ages, both with the very young and, having sat in on some of her youth club type meetings, a way of encouraging older children to become involved and express themselves. I've learnt a lot from Rachel during the year without realising I am being taught. The primary school singing and sports days were very enjoyable, as were the visits of the Scouts and Beavers. I had an inquiry, was the Mayoral chain going to be a prize at one of the sports days? I was not aware of how much voluntary work goes into the provision of sport for older children. I hope more recognition could be given to referees, umpires and timekeepers and the coaches and the people who organise events. I also hope recognition is given to the parents who transport and encourage the participants. There was much talent on display from the secondary schools, in addition to academic prowess, clothes design and musicianship, and I often wonder about the amount of work that goes in preparation for the actual performance. I found the standard of displays and performances of local schools amazing. The services of remembrance were moving and great events for all the community to be together, regardless of other differences. This is the Village War Memorial. From the First World War, 27 names from a village of 500. The town football team's success continued and hopefully will be maintained. The water ski racing was spectacular and I was lucky enough to have a reasonably quick ride down the river in a speedboat, minus the chain which was removed prior to getting into the boat. I was going to keep it on to encourage a rescue attempt should I fall in. I was similarly fortunate to be on the pilot boat as it escorted the visiting Royal Navy ship out of the harbour. HMS Biter was not a large ship, but the captain's next appointment was on an aircraft carrier. I tried to kid the town hall staff that the carrier was going to visit Lynn and we were going to entertain the crew. They were too wise for me to fool them with that one. Helping to judge any competition is very difficult, particularly when it involves young carers. Often, all the contestants deserve to win, but an order has to be produced, although sometimes an extra category can be quietly introduced to give an award to those who all the panel think should have one, but are not featuring amongst the winners. The Business Awards presentation is a big event, as are the two festivals. Getting onto the stage at the last night of Festival 2 is quite an experience. The organisers of both festivals run them very well. We have entertained some delightful guests at the Town Hall and been around the county taking up many generous invitations. These include visits to RAF Marham, Mildenhall, Norwich, particularly the Cathedral, Yarmouth, Thetford and Wisbech. Also, contact with various charities and care homes allows you to meet many enthusiastic volunteers and dedicated staff. Finally, I was beginning to get more relaxed about the role when lockdown occurred. Suddenly, from getting dressed up every day and going out, it was down to phone calls and virtual meetings. Despite this, we were able to link up with several VE Day celebrations, including a visit to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. The National Health Service and their staff have really proved their commitment and worth during this crisis and, rightly so in my view, have received the recognition they deserve. I have had a fantastic year and there are some people I would like to thank for helping me. First of all, the Mayoress, Rose, the Civics officers, Jules and Paul, and the unflappable Alan, the Mayor's officer, the Mayor's chaplain, Father Adrian Ling, the drivers, David, Gordon and latterly Tony. I apologise for saying to Alan that I thought the new car should have had dual controls. The Deputy Mayor for her good-natured and loyal support. My charity committee and the chair, Ben Colson. The Town Hall staff who have been brilliant. And finally, everyone who has made us so welcome during the year.